Welcome. I'm gonna do how y'all pastors do. Come on in. How you doing, Doc? Shout out to you. I'm gonna call you later. Come on in. Ain't that how they do on Facebook Live? Anyway, we are here. It is the season finale. This is episode 6. Girlfriends, it's a different world living single. And I have 5. It was supposed to be 4, but I'll tell you all about that later. 5 of the most amazing, some of the most amazing women that I know, that I personally know, that I talk to on a regular basis. And we're going to let you in just a little bit into our world and some of the conversations that legitimately we have on a regular everyday basis. We're going to talk about this episode is going to be like the transcription of your group chat. So just prepare your spirit, go and get you something to drink, settle on in, because we get ready to get lit, but in a good way, an edifying way. And still fun, because this is girls' night and it is going to be amazing. So stick with us.
My vulva and me. My vulva and me. My vulva and me.
Yes, welcome back, my vulva and me. Oh my goodness. First of all, I'm gonna say it again, and I say it every episode. That theme song is a bop. Oh my goodness. And we'll talk more about that later, but I'm not gonna waste any more time. I know y'all love looking at me, but I have some other fabulous ladies for you also to gaze upon, and we're going to introduce you to our guests right now. Oh, bam. Hey, and one more. Bam. Hey, Grace.
Hey, y'all.
Come on, this is
Hey.
Hey. Hi. How are you doing? Thank you so much. As I said at the beginning, although y'all are my girlfriends, this is still business. You know, one of us is very particular about separating business from pleasure. And I'm learning to do that. And it is amazing. And I'm really grateful that you all agreed to take your time to spend with me today. One of you just came from an event, and we wasn't sure if y'all was gonna make it today, but God is good, and she showed up anyway. Ain't God good?
All the time.
I'm just saying. So, as per custom, at my Vulva and Me, I believe Black women need the space to give themselves their own accolades, because Lord knows this world ain't gonna do it. So, I want us to go. We'll start with Billionaire Besties, Rebecca and Dr. G, and then we'll go with the Sisterhood debrief, Brittney, Alex, and then you, Johnny, come later. Well, introduce yourself and just tell the world, yes, because I'm speaking that this is going to be worldwide at some point. Tell the world who you are, what you do, and why you so involved at what you do.
Well, hey, everybody. It is your girl, Peach Becca. I am one half of the Billionaire Besties podcast. And my best friend and I, we promote the value of friendship. So this girlfriends, my vulva in me is like right up our alley. And so I'm just excited to be here. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it to my bestie.
Little technical difficulties, no worries. We're gonna go ahead and let the Sisterhood debrief introduce themselves, and then when Dr. G comes back on, we'll let her go. Oh no, I think she's here. Never mind. Hold the line. Okay.
Hey y'all, my bad. Technology. I am Dr. G, like my bestie said, one half of the Billionaire Besties. I'm just excited to be here on this platform with such amazing ladies. I finally get to sit at the table, so I'm excited to be here.
Sit at the table, honey. You done built a couple of tables of your own.
Listen, this is the table to be at. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, Brittney.
Hey y'all, I am Brittney Holmes Jackson. I am the founder of Brittney Holmes Jackson and Co., a literary agency that just happens to be the publisher of the My Vulva and Me book that is being released next week. Hey, I'm also the ratchet part of the Sisterhood Debrief, where all things are sisterly, godly, and ratchet. So I'm happy to be here with you guys.
I think that's so interesting that you are the ratchet one because I would have picked differently. But go ahead.
Who you want to pick, sis? Go ahead.
Who you would have picked?
We'll talk about that later. Go ahead, Alex.
I am Alex. I am not only the producer of this amazing show created by Ms. Brittney Broaddus-Smith, but I am the creator of Authentically Alex, which is a lifestyle Christian mom blog. And I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah. And of course, we have the one, the only, Bernie Kester. You muted, boo.
Oh, okay. I was just saying, glory be to God for just allowing me to grace this, informative.
She's gonna irritate me. These 90 minutes.
I'm just playing. Hey, everybody, I'm Brittney Esther, founder and creator of Authentically Wed, CEO of Brittney Esther & Co. I am a licensed master social worker. Shout out to B. I am a transformational life coach, author, speaker. Alex is my producer. Brittney was also my publisher, or my she was my literary coach. And so like all the Black girl magicness, it's up, like all of these are my closest friends. So I'm just honored to be in the place. I'm excited to have been able to come up in this piece. So thank you for creating this space, B.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And again, as I said, for those of you who are just joining us, I am taking time tonight closing out this season with these 5 ladies who are not only my girlfriends, but they make up the 2 amazing group podcasts, Billionaire Besties and the Sisterhood Debrief. I don't know why neither of them asked me to be a part of it, but I mean, it's whatever. We'll talk about that for another day, another time. So, as per custom, for My Vulva and Me, y'all know, I'm sure y'all can say it with me at this time. I live for a good game. So, first thing I know, I want you to get in your mind which girlfriend, we mixing a bunch of games together because I'm a creative. That's how we do. And I just came up with this 45 seconds. So I'm really excited about it. Get in your mind, don't tell people, but get in your mind which girlfriend you are. Joan Carol Clayton, Maya Zenise Wilkes, Toni Marie Childs Garrett, or Lynn Ann Searcy. And yes, I know all of their names. And I hope that y'all know who they are, because y'all should have done your homework, because I told you about this 6 months ago. Now, so get in your head who you are, which you are, and if you're playing along and you're watching, playing along, get in your head which you are. And now we're going to play a little bit of black card, but you have to answer as the girlfriend. Brittney, I don't know, don't do it. Don't do it. I want to hear what I say. Can we start? It's going to mess it up too much. I have to keep the mics on so we can hear the reactions and stuff. All right, y'all ready? Everybody ready? Okay.
Ready.
So, number 1, when he sings, it makes you want to fall in love with somebody. Barry White, Luther Vandross, Teddy Pendergrass, Marvin Gaye. When he sings, it makes you want to fall in love with somebody. You can answer. If you got your answer, you can go ahead.
I'm going to say Marvin Gaye.
Why?
Am I telling who the girlfriend is?
No, don't tell me, because I want to guess. That's the second part. I want to guess based on your answer.
Okay. So I would choose Marvin Gaye specifically for his song, Let's Get It On.
Oh. And see, and now, so this is the thing. Becca added a twist to the thing. When you answer the question, you now have to give the song as your why. Thanks, Becca. If you don't like that, thanks, Becca. Right. Okay. So now, Brittney, Marvin Gaye, Teddy Pendergrass, Luther Vandross, or Barry White?
So I don't know no song by him, but no, it's fine. I got this. I'm gonna have to go with Luther because a house is not a home if my man is not there.
Yeah. There's nothing there. Oh, sorry. Bernie, who you got? Sorry, I apologize. I had a moment. Who you got, Bernie?
I'm with Britt on this one, Luther Vandross. And for me, I think Here and Now, like it's such an authentic, like just display of here and now. I promise to love faithfully. Like where them people? Faithfully. I want the here and now kind of love. Give me that.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm here for that. Dr. G, who you got?
Well, guys, I really think I want to go with Teddy Pendergrass.
Who?
Because there's just so much. Like, he had When Somebody Loves You Back, Turn Off the Lights. Like, he just has so much. Like, he can take you from love to the bedroom and back. Like, I'm gonna have to go with Teddy Pendergrass.
Okay, Trees.
Okay.
She said.
I clearly know who his girlfriend Dr. G is. Well, go on, Alice. Alice, who you picking?
I had the same thing as Brittney. I said Luther Vandross. This house is not a home. It's the first thing that came to my mind when you read it. When I picked the person.
Y'all best friends. Y'all think alike. Y'all got similar interests.
We're best friends for almost 20 years. So.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my. Well, you know, Alex, you are just a sweetheart. Like, so you're easy to be a friend with. I can imagine. I mean, you know, and you also are grace to like endure. So I love you, Brett. Okay, next question. Ooh, and y'all know church and y'all know singers and stuff, so this should be good. And then y'all have to go in order. You could just say your answer out loud. Who is the best female soul singer of all time?
Female what?
Soul singer. Patti LaBelle, Aretha Franklin, Etta James, Anita Baker.
Aretha came to my first. Before you even gave the answer choices, I was like Aretha.
You got to give it to Auntie Nita.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
definitely Anita.
Anita all day. Becca,
I think it's Anita.
Okay. So we're still answering as our girlfriend, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I think my girlfriend would say Etta James, although my personal pick would have been Bring Rita Back.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see who else we got. Okay, this is good. This will be our last one, and we go on to our question. A woman can never have too many what? Bags, shoes, men, options.
I'm going to say men.
What y'all got? Dr. D, you quiet over there. What you grinning for?
I'm gonna say options.
I just feel like options gives me access to all of the above.
Correct.
Yeah.
But see, if you give me too many options, then I'm gonna be sitting here all day confused and I don't know what to do. And so
Right.
I'm gonna need you to narrow that down.
Narrow it down for me.
Either or me, please, because I just can't. I'll be agonizing all day long. I don't have time for that.
I don't know. I'm torn between shoes or bags if I'm answering as my person.
If I'm answering as mine, it would for sure be shoes.
All right. Well, I think so. Now it's time for me to guess, and that will lead us into our first question, which is which girlfriend are you? But I think that Brittney is Joan. No, I take that back. My first heart said Lynn, but your work ethic don't match that. So I'm still gonna go Joan. Joan for Brittney. Let's stay with the sisterhood. Alex. And Vernique Tony.
You said Vernique what?
Tony. And Becca, also Tony. And Dr. G, Lynn. And I probably got that all wrong. All right, y'all go ahead. Question number 1. Which girlfriend are you, but which girlfriend are you in life? Which girlfriend are you in love? And then which girlfriend are you in work ethic? And if they're all the same, they're all the same. But if not,
I think for me, in life and work ethic is the same, which would probably be more aligned with Joan. In love, at this point in my life, I kind of align with Tony in that aspect of rich husband me, please.
I
ain't mad at it. So for me, which girlfriend am I in life? I would probably say Joan, because I like to have a good handle on what my environment looks like, and Joan is a little bit controlling. In love, I would probably say Maya, just a home life husband type of thing. In work ethic, it would probably be Lynn, and that's who I was playing during the game.
Okay. Okay. Me.
You did say Vernique, right? My phone is tripping.
Yes.
Okay. So for me, I think in life, for sure, Joan, like her, unfortunately, it was painful watching some of her like stuff, but the controlling, like you were saying, Becca, controlling, being anxious, kind of like always the person that's like directing things or whatever, for sure. In love, I think I'm a Maya. Like if I was in a relationship, the TSD no, I have told them time and time again, as soon as I get a man, I'm just playing. They know I'm kidding, but the reality is I would very much be like, oh, I have to go because my husband is at home. Okay. Like for sure.
But I can feel like, but single me is a Tony. Okay, with Alex, like, because we have had this conversation, but in work ethic, I should say, I think I'm a Joan too. Like, I'm gonna get it done by any means necessary.
So, Dr. G, the question is, which girlfriend are you in life, in love, and in work ethic? And it's okay if they're the same.
She's muted.
Can you hear me? Okay. I would say in life and work ethic, probably more of a Joan. I'm not exactly sure why. I just feel like I resonate with her a little bit. As far as love, I would say more so Maya. Only because she was like the one that lasted the longest in a relationship for real. So, but yeah.
Okay, and I think that in life, I'm likely more Maya in her like glow up type of work hard, and then eventually, gradually, it wasn't like an overnight success. Didn't wasn't born into money or inheritance or anything like that. I worked the way up that way in life with Maya. In love, I'm very clearly Joan, very clearly a hopeless romantic, and her view. I'm her in the hope, in her the way she idealizes love and relationships, but not in the way she incessantly nitpicks over things like that. Because I can be controlling, but not in that way. At least I don't think so. And in work ethic, I would say I was Tony, because Tony was about it. Tony gonna do what's necessary to get to that money. And I'm a hustler. By I don't care if I'm selling, couponing and reselling the goods, or creating a new t-shirt for the agency firm. Bills got to get paid. I'm gonna make it. That's just me. So I would. Okay. So that's good. Next question. We're gonna liven this up a little bit.
Wait, can I just sorry.
Sure, go ahead.
So one thing I was thinking about while we were doing this is, man, we don't put enough respect on Lynn's name because of this one thing that I want to say is that she sucked the whole way. Well, not sucked, but she wasn't really accomplished as much, other than her educational accomplishments. But towards the end, once she found her passion, she blossomed and took off. And I feel because I know all of you guys, sometimes, because at first I was like, what can I say to resonate with Lynn? But the reality is sometimes you have to find your thing before you really take off. And so even if for any of the ladies watching who was yeah, nobody wants to be a Lynn, you know what? I actually can respect her for not settling until she found what felt purposeful to her. I mean, I don't never want to be her in the earlier years, but it's okay sometimes to find your thing later on in life and later on than everybody else did.
Yeah, that's actually why I chose Lynn, because my formative years really mirrored her life. And like I said, I chose Marvin Gaye, let's get it on. That was a lot of my past, that freedom, just kind of oh, I'll just see wherever the wind blows, that's where I'm gonna go. And so it wasn't until I kind of found my lane, I was oh, okay, I could do this. And like you said, began to blossom. And so I actually thought Lynn was a great friend. Your girlfriends, y'all can argue me if y'all want, but I felt like she was probably one of the most consistent characters on that show. But anyway, go to the next question, Brittney.
No, she definitely was a consistent character. I think my issue, Lynn was what we saw with Lynn though was 6 or however many seasons of what happens when you're in an identity. As much as her parents loved her and loved on her and supported it, she was struggling to find out who she was. So what we saw that, in addition to, I think that even with her pursuit of multiple degrees and that trying to find herself, it was more of not finding her passion, but she was trying to find who she was.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of folks take issue with Lynn in that part. She kind of shows some of the ugly side of when you don't know who you are, because you can be successful on paper, but in real life you're a hot mess. I think the only part of her, because she never showed any one way or another to be a poor friend. I just think that I struggle with people who have, and this is, even as a therapist, I understand, but this is probably bad to say out loud, but I struggle with people who have the means, even if it's not financial, but just know how, and then just don't do it. I need to get up. I resonate with the get up and go. I can't stand the, whatever, anyway the wind blows kind of person. That irritates me. And that's just me. So then it was a couple situations. I'm girl, if you don't, come on. When, Williams get ready to put you out. You got this nice house. All he said was go look for a job. You couldn't go out there, put an application to come back and get knocked up. I don't understand it. That used to set me off. But we're going to go into this. And since we're
great. You can't skip my best friend. Miss Jackson got.
Oh, you ain't got Brittney. Come on now. I apologize.
I was gonna let y'all have it, and now if I would have got skipped on the next question, I was just gonna butt in.
No, butt in.
So I feel like y'all gave Maya credit and love because she stuck with her man as much as she could throughout the show. But I feel like Maya had excellent work ethic. Like and I feel like I'm her in all aspects of life, because even though she played around on the job or whatever, she made sure like that the person who she was supposed to be, assisting was taken care of, even if it meant covering her behind. So like I just think I feel like for me, like she has like levels, like she's almost like an onion. And she has all of these different creative avenues, and she's loyal, and she's gonna tell you about yourself, but she's also gonna help you, get you to where you're supposed to be. And I feel like that might be me. So I'm not over here cheating on my husband or nothing, but everything else, Maya
definitely knew how to make stretch a dollar. Like she definitely got to the money, and I think that she also showed. Because I remember watching it the first time around and was like, why you not ever home? Like, and like, why are you always like, that was my thought. That was my thought originally when I first watched the first round as a child. Then after being married 9 years, after having 2 children, I very much understand why she was always over there. And what Maya was versatility. Like she showed her ability to take care of home, make sure they were good, work, and then still have an active social life, which is necessary for as wives and mothers. You can't lose yourself in those roles, because those are titles, those are roles that you play. Those are not. I mean, for me, that is not. I have children. I was a wife, but that was not who I was. So I think that she showed that you could do both, because she would cut somebody behind Darnell, behind Jabari, all of that. And so you cannot doubt her commitment to her family, but she also recognized that Maya needed Maya time too. And I think that that's one of the things that, as I watching it before and then watching it as a grown up that I've been through some things, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah. So let's talk about Tony and Joan. And series opens with Tony in, it's like Issa, it's like the building blocks of Issa and whatever that other child's name is.
Molly.
Issa and Molly, correct.
Yep.
So Tony and Joan, toxicity or loyalty?
Toxicity.
Toxic.
But that's like a lot of women, a lot of us hold on to childhood friendships for the number. We're like, this person been with me through this, through that, through this. They still my friend. Like, no, sis, she's not your friend. Like, it's okay.
They were so codependent. I wanted to pull my DSM out every episode. Like, it was so bad. First of all, Tony has either borderline or histrionic personality disorder.
Oh, come on, diagnose it.
I'm telling you, she has a personality disorder. And then when you have somebody like Joan, who operates from a realm of anxiety at all times, it is a recipe for codependent heaven. Okay, they are so unbelievably toxic. And it's crazy that they showed it from the beginning. So it never was like another way. Nope. There was constant jealousy, and then and by the way, let's make sure that we're clear that the toxicity wasn't all just on Tony. Joan was very much toxic. She needed toxic. She needed for Joan to need her. That's what codependency is. But she needed for Tony. Joan needed for Tony to need her. And then when she started to accomplish things that were like what she wanted to do, and she felt like she deserved more than Tony, she showed her toxic behind, tore up her own relationship. Like it was so bad. But it was so necessary to see, though, because there are so many relationships out there. Although that one was hyperbolic, like there are so many people in very similar relationships with friends and family.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? It's so interesting that you said that Joan needed Tony to need her, because the thing is that Tony, for most of the show, except for that spurt when she lost her job, was well off. She did well. What I think Joan fed off of as far as need with regard to Tony is her selfishness. being selfish allowed Joan to present as the ever enduring, ever giving friend, which is also a part of her, again, identity and like
Her narrative.
yeah, that was a part of her narrative. And then Tony, again, also in a different way than Lynn, but also identity crisis, coming from the farm, wanting to move as far away from that life as possible, wanting to come up in LA, make this money, and just be like this, like even changing her name from Antoinette to Tony.
Right.
Yeah, like I married a doctor.
It
like,
was a
there's
bigger
no
identity crisis than Lynn.
right. And the thing that depending on how you look at it, that's really the struggle. And I agree with you that it wasn't just one-sided, because let me tell you, when Tony was getting married, and she was like, I'm happy for my friend. I'm happy for my
I hate that episode. I hate that episode with a passion. I feel like it just shows, like, as a child watching the show, it almost makes it seem like, oh, this is a normal feeling and it's okay. And then watching it as an adult, I'm like, I was telling Chris, I was like, we gotta stick with it. We can't go to the next show that they got on Netflix because we committed to this show, but I'm not done with this here. If she try one more time, if she tear down this good one more time because she looking at what Tony got over here, I've never seen a friendship like that in my life. Actually, I have. And that friendship no longer exists. So, like, there's that. But I don't get it.
Yeah, that was Dr. G, anything on the Tony Joan?
Nope. Just, I mean, y'all said it all. Verdict put out her DSM and everything, so I think I'm good on that.
Like I said, like even go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna say I think friendship dynamics like that are very interesting when it's almost like with Joan, it's easy to I know what it is, that savior complex. And so if I can be the savior in the friendship and I surround myself with people who need me, then that's always gonna feed my ego. It's gonna make me feel like, it's easy for me to play the victim because everybody else is doing that because I'm doing everything for everybody. And so it was just a repetitive side with each of her friendships, with Joan, with Lynn, with Maya, all of them. It was a certain interaction of Joan being a superwoman.
Yeah, but that's also a way to control people. When you put people in a position of where they need you, I know because I've been there and somebody had to call me out on it and make me realize, like, that's a manipulative way of being someone's friend, confidant, whatever. And nobody ever really called Joan on that. They used to always go at Tony because Tony was way more, I guess, outspoken about her mess. And Joan was rarely ever called out on just being controlling, overbearing, needy, because needing somebody to need you is also needy.
Absolutely.
And all of it was just very toxic. And that's one thing I feel about, like, Lynn and Maya. It's like, again, it made this thing of staying out of your friend's business normal. They were always there to kind of pick up the pieces and try to say, hey, y'all need to talk. But there was never a real, like, calling them out on their mess. And I think it was because there was this underlying tone of, well, we're not where they are, so who are we to tell them about whatever they got going on? We're going to stay out of it. But again, it just normalizes so much negative behavior between women that it's almost like, this should not even be on TV.
Right. And you know what it is? And this may be an unpopular opinion, but as a friend, I'll take Tony over. If I have to make a decision, I'm going to take Tony over Joan because I can see Tony coming. That way I can know when the situation starts, I'm like, don't start the mess, and I can shut it down. I can set appropriate boundaries with Tony. Let you have your tantrum, go about your business. And I could, because I had past tense a Tony friend. Knew what was going to happen. So it was a point that got to the point where I'm like, yo, this is her. She's going to be like this all the time. So I need to make a decision of whether I want to deal with it or not. And then once I made the decision that the relationship, regardless of how problematic, was something I still wanted to maintain, I knew how to change my behavior. But with Joan, the smiling and hosting the parties for you and all of that, but then you think of something else in the background. And then the back and forth of, you got to get out, you got to get out, you got to get out, that you did with John, with Lynn. But then when Lynn went to live with William, and then they something like now you wanted to come back home. Like make a decision, like pick a struggle. Like that. And so although so I just want to be clear when I say I am more like Joan, it is only in my the way my fairy tale like thinking sometimes as far as relationships, not in friendship.
Yeah.
So we ain't gonna tear them apart because Joan Carroll Clayton, Maya Denise Wilkes, Tony Charles Garrett, and Lynn Ann Searcy they are very huge parts of our development. If you grew up in 90s, 2000s, well, I don't even remember when it came out, but I'm pretty sure I wasn't old enough to watch it when it came out. Or I probably shouldn't have been watching it. And another show I know for sure I shouldn't be watching because I feel like it debuted in 1993 was Living Single. And so we are going to talk now about Living Single because in 93 I was 5. Because Martin also in 1993. And I remember watching Martin coming on Thursdays after kindergarten school. So I knew for sure I should have been watching that. So, but Khadijah, Regine, Max, and Sinclair. Khadijah James, Regine Hunter, Maxine Shaw, attorney at law, and Sinclair James. Which one do you more closely relate to?
I'm Khadijah through and through.
I would probably say Sinclair with a hint Khadijah.
I don't know. I'm like a mix of everybody.
You Regine, sis.
No.
Yeah, you are.
I would say like I like luxury. Okay. But we should normalize luxury. Okay?
Absolutely.
I agree.
Hashtag that.
And that's why it ain't nothing wrong with it.
So, but Khadijah's work ethic, but also like, I don't know, sometimes Max's personality, I feel like I can somewhat align. Like I can see myself in that.
Dr. G, Brittney.
I'm gonna say Khadijah. I don't really see myself in any of the other women, probably because they irked me a lot on the show, and they were created to do that. Like I love them all, but Sinclair was like real, like Max was always being mean. Regine was aggravating because she was trying to find the next man. Khadijah was just about her business, working. When she had a man, she had one. When she had her meltdowns, it didn't last long. She picked herself back up, move on, moving. That's me.
Khadijah was not that easy peasy lemon squeezy.
More than the other three.
No, she was. Khadijah was controlling. Khadijah would have all of these. Khadijah would have all these obvious problems. That's clearly on fire, but would put a fence around her so can't nobody come get to her. Khadijah had her stuff. Okay.
So that still may be me. I'm gonna just say you can have all anxiety attack and still be working through it. So like, don't bother me. Let me keep going.
Because that episode when she was sick, I could have pushed her down a flight of steps. I don't have that patience. Dr. G, which one are you?
I think I'm Sinclair with like a sprinkle of everybody else, like a sprinkle, a little bit of Regine, because my bestie say I like in food. My bestie says I'm bougie.
Very.
I would have never guessed it. With 1,000 guesses, I wouldn't have guessed Sinclair. Now I would say that I am Max Sinclair's sensibilities because I'm very much. Guess who's home? You are, and I'm gonna make you having a day. I want to give you cards, and I'm gonna text.
That's me.
Text you inappropriate jokes, but still jokes nonetheless. You know what I mean? Like Vernique posted her stories, her and Cece's picture. It was like, what y'all look? What it look like? I'm getting ready to drop, and I was like, a COVID vaccination. And then one time, I remember that time when we were like listing everything that we liked about each other in the group. Like, I love this. I love your smile. I love the way you do this. I'm like, Vernique, I like the way you spell your name. But that's how I love you. That's how I love on people. By doing that, and I think Sinclair was very much a giver, and I am that as well. It doesn't feel right if my people don't have. So whatever I can do to make it happen, or we're gonna not have to get like whatever the case. But as far as Max is like, Max was also by any means necessary. She had that little bout when she, lost her job, but she like had that tough exterior, but like soft as tissue paper on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. So when we think about Khadijah, Regine, and Max in their relationship, so if we know the storyline, it came out later in the episodes that Regine's mom asked for Khadijah to let her move in, and they went through the whole thing. And then we saw that Sinclair came to New York again based on Khadijah, and the family put her. She got put on. She got a job and all of that. All of you all, in some form or fashion, have a business or a platform or whatever, in a space where you can make access or make space for other people. When it comes to making space, are you always required to put your friends on or your family members on? Is that like a non-negotiable?
Not required.
I think it's good to support your friends, like definitely support your friends and be there for them, but it's also good to know your friends. Like not every person that you consider a friend is going to be great for your brand, right? So if I'm, branding myself as someone that's calm and gentle, like I'm not necessarily going to bring my ratchet friend on day one to, go in because it's going to clash with my brand. So maybe if you're able to have a conversation with that friend and like, they can like work around it, then that's good. But if not, I think it's important to know your brand and how you're branding and how you're doing things, especially starting out. Now, once people get familiar with your brand and you feel like you want to let your hair down a little bit, then maybe, you can venture out. But supporting your friends, I think you can support friends in many different ways. So I don't see anything wrong with supporting your friend. Like you can share a post, you can buy a product, you can refer people, like you can support them in numerous amounts of ways. But as far as like bringing them on your platform, you definitely have to know your brand and your platform and what's appropriate for you.
Thank you. I used to have a saying where, as far as like friends and family, depending on who you are, I was very clear about it up front. There was no like covert operation. But if I worked at a job, for whatever reason, I've always got really cool with the HR people at my job, wherever I was. So I was often in positions where I could get your resume in front of the right people. But I got to a place after getting burned this time through where I was like, I will give this resume to them, as in I will forward the email, but I'm not vouching for you. Because what happens is, so one thing, to answer the question, and I want other people to chime in as well, but to answer the question for me, I think that if you are in a position to bring a seat to the table or level up or whatever, pour into your family or friends, like if you have a platform and whatever the case, they have some type of service or product or whatever that you can get in front of other people, and you believe in that product and you asking them up, like, yes, girl, do that, blah, blah, blah. I feel like that should carry over when you in front of the right people. Because I feel like if you make suits and I'm going to a show where I have to wear my own suit, unless I don't like it, why would I not wear your suits? Particularly if you don't even make sure it all matches. You know what I mean? But so to answer that question, but I also think that on the reverse of that, which is the second question about supporting friends' endeavors, which I want you all to chime in on. If your friends start a business, is it an expectation by all means, with no questions asked, that you support? If they are bedazzling Old Navy flip-flops, do you have them in every color? If they make a cookies, are you buying them versus Mrs. Field? Like when somebody say I'm in need of this MUA, are you saying, oh, Lily Rose? Right. Like, are you doing that for your friends? Is it a requirement? Or do you have angst sometimes about referring friends for certain stuff?
So I am huge on referring my friends for particular things. So it doesn't matter where or when I am. Matter of fact, I tagged some people today in a post that I saw. Like, if I see something that's relevant to something that I know one of my girlfriends does, I'm tagging you, I'm amping you, I'm vouching for you. And my friends, y'all, we all do the same. If one of us sees an opportunity, we're sending it to everybody. If one of us sees like, hey, did you watch such and such? This might be good information for you, but we do that. And so that's one thing that I'm really serious about. However, I only do it if I am sure of what you do and you actually do it well.
Yeah.
I have been in situations similar to what you were talking about, Brittney, where I recommended somebody and the person came back to me like, yo, I never heard from them. Or yo, like they started, but they took my money and they didn't give it back. So even though I'm still friends with that person, you're not at the top of my referral list anymore. I'm going to refer other people for particular services. But every single time that I have an opportunity to refer somebody, and I know especially, well, I was about to say especially if they're Black, but it's always somebody Black. But I am going to refer you because I want to make sure I put money in my friends' pockets whenever I can. Now, am I always required to put you on? I think that's a slippery slope because people expect that when you get to a certain place that you automatically have power and privileges. But if I'm walking into a new space, like it's new to me too. I need time to maneuver that space and gain the type of access that would allow me to pull you in. But it's funny that we even have this conversation because I just sent a text to Brittney B today and I was like, yo, I got put on today, you finna get put on, you know what I'm saying? And like I have plenty of other friends, but like in my mind there's almost like I connect people to what makes the most sense for them. So while all of my friends may be able to benefit from a particular thing, who is at a position to best steward this particular thing? Like I think those things matter, and like we have to create a culture where we're not like putting these high, like unrealistic or even realistic for the sake of it, expectations on people to do things because you just never really know. Like you never know what their capacities are. And I think that we need to, as much as I love and rely on my community, I don't expect them to like at every single moment have to watch all of my videos, come to all of my events, buy all of my things. Like I don't expect that because you guys have your own stuff going on, you have your own platforms, and you can't be everywhere at once. Like that's a lot of pressure on one person. I know we're talking about a group, but if my expectation is for you, Alex, to show up everywhere all the time to help me with all of my events, like that's not fair. And so I give people the grace to be present for me as much as possible. And if nothing else, the biggest expectation that I have is that you, like, I have friends that are affirming and that can spur me on to good works. If that's all that you can do, you've done your job as my friend. Like I'm not keeping score. And so I don't expect my friends to do the same.
That actually was what I was going to piggyback on, Veronique. A lot of, and I've learned this, and I know my BB and I talked about this a lot. Support looks different. Like we cannot look at our friendships and, like you said, expect everybody to be at everything. Expect them to buy all the different color flip flops or buy us out of cookie stock, every time. Sometimes that support is the people that pray for you, the people that encourage you, the people that, like you said, spur you on the greatness. Then there may be people who open doors for you to be connected with other people. There may be people that just share your stuff on their platform because they have a bigger platform than you do. And so for me, yes, support your friends. I'm going to support my friends. I do expect my friends to support me, but we can't expect the same type of support from everybody. So it like I said, it may just be an encouraging word. You may not never buy my product. You may not never come to an event. But if I know like you pray for me and you encourage me along the way, then I do look at that as support. Always required? No, I don't even like that terminology. Always required to do anything to me is just out of order, honestly. But just agreeing with what you guys have said already, like I'm going to consider your own platform. I'm going to consider where you are, and I'm going to consider will you carry my name well? Because if I am vouching for you, you're representing me in whatever avenue you're going in. And so can you represent me well where I'm sending you in? If not, then I may not put you on just yet.
Yeah, I agree. Like one, always required to put my friends on. No, I just don't. I like Becca said, it's the always required part. There's not much I'm always required to do. Like,
but breathe.
love Jesus.
Every time the somebody asks you for a Christian sexology, you are always required to say Brittney.
If I make another sexologist friend, Brittney, I
no. Your quota for Christian sexologists have been met. So sorry, but go ahead.
Cool. But no, like, but I do it because I support my friends, like Brittney said, if they are doing what they say they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put my name on the line for you. Support looks different for everybody. You have to look at what everybody's capacity is. It's like a meme going around now. Like, support is maybe a like, a comment, a share on your platform, tagging somebody. So don't box into like what your requirement is of your friend. Like, you shouldn't be like, well, you're only supporting me if you buy my product. You're only supporting me to my event if they share your stuff. If they're tagging you, somebody else is open and giving you opportunities. Sometimes we just look for support really when we're starting our businesses monetarily. People kind of box it in and you can't do that.
Yeah. I know one thing I need to get better with, I mean, not necessarily better, because I think that I'm the nicest person in the world. Somebody on here always tries to edify me. I think I need to season my words with a little more grace. And I just feel like support looks like telling you the actual factual. And if you're bedazzled Old Navy flip-flops, it's some nonsense. It's some nonsense, and nobody's wearing that, and don't waste your money on that. However, that's just my personal opinion. But whatever, do your little focus group. But one thing there was a time where I would refer you, I would support you, but support you and refer you to places where it couldn't come back on me. Like someone who did certain jobs really well, and I was if people needed this service, I would send them to, like, I wouldn't care if they came back to me, but I wouldn't support them. Like, I wouldn't send them to people that I have to see every day, because it was good, but the quality was kind of, So I think that one of the ways we need to, I think it's important that if you are at a place where you feel like you are not able to support your friends, or you can put them on and opt not to, I think it is your responsibility as a friend, depending on your connection, to tell them why you aren't putting them on. Don't be gassing them and then like, child, no, don't use that. Yeah. And the way that you can do that by knowing and figure out what support looks like for that person, you may have to get a little close, or you may have to get a little bit closer. And there is how we get closer is by having conversations, such as the things we have. And sometimes we don't even know what to say, what questions to ask. Well, Vernique Esther, founder and creator of Authentically Wed, CEO of Vernique Esther Co., has created a card deck that could help you out with that very thing. The close or closer. Dang, I was on the flow. Go, Vernique, go introduce the cards before the commercial comes back. Please.
First of all, this is like, thank you so much for putting me on, sis, on this amazing platform. So, Close and Closer is a conversation card game. Right now, the starter pack is available, and the goal of it is to help you get close or closer to people that you're with, because as you will see, people are having conversations where they're not always having the ones that really can connect them. So whether friendship, family, wherever you want to use these cards, they are like really a game changer when it comes to having conversations. And some of my friends can vouch for that because we played it last week. So I'm really excited and glad that I get to debut these for the first time anywhere.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Vernique Esther, founder and creator of Authentically Wed, a platform dedicated to empowering people to be their healthiest and most authentic selves in their intimate relationships from a biblical perspective. One thing that my community specializes in is having the conversations that help people build better relationships. But what I found is that while people are talking to those that they're in relationships with, they're not having the right conversations. I think I have the solution to that. The Close Closer Conversation Card Starter Pack. In this, you'll find 2 decks and 30 questions to help you level up your conversations, whether family time, girls' night, or date night. You'll have access to carefully curated questions that help you not just have the conversation that's on the card, but every conversation attached to it. So what are you waiting for? Level up your conversations and your relationships today by going to www.authenticallywed.com/getclose.
Oh, it's a wait for me. It's a wink for me.
Y'all see my wink?
Come on, Wink.
Guess who taught me?
Yeah,
Don't start.
that was a good one.
Don't. Because one of the questions should be here is like, what do you do when your friend takes your group chat, private text messages to social media? How do you
Listen,
handle
let's
that?
talk
That
about
should have been one of the questions, but it's not. But thank you so much, Brittney, for even, because the thing that one of the things we talked about just now is about trust and the platform and keep carrying my name well and things like that. So thank you for even trusting my Vulva and me to be a space where you feel like this, your commercial, your cards will even fall on the right ears, because you could have said like, it's not a good fit, and you and I have partnered together in endeavors before. So I definitely how you show trust in someone is by continuously working with them. Just from knowing you, if you ain't trust me, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. So I am honored to be a part of that. And so I want to move on now to the last section of our title. It's a different world.
It's a different world.
The way
Yes, it is.
Talk about the show I done seen 3 times all the way through.
What? Say that again.
I said we talking about a show I done seen 3 or 4 times all the way through, except for season 1 because that was way.
Oh, okay. Well, then that way Brittney's gonna lead this conversation. So we have Whitley Gilbert, Kimberly, her Freddie Brooks, Jaleesa, her last name.
I don't think they really said their last names at all.
Okay, so Jaleesa, Freddie, Whitley, Kim, and the other ones, like Jada Pink and them characters, they was like here today, going tomorrow. So, of the core, who are you? Whitley, Kim, Freddie, or Jaleesa?
I think Kim.
Kim, because, well, now, let's be clear. I might have been a bit of Freddie in college, all over the place, whimsical. Yeah, I don't know. But Kim, studious, because my mama didn't play, and focused, but also like, she wasn't worried about men, but I was kind of worried about men. So we might have to throw Freddie in there, because Freddie was probably the one that always wanted somebody to look at her.
Anyone else?
This one was really hard for me. I really don't know. Like, I don't know. Y'all help me out. I really don't know.
Jaleesa.
I can see like Freddie. I can see somebody said Jaleesa.
Jaleesa.
That's my
Jaleesa.
thought.
Okay.
I think more so Jaleesa.
I take it.
Like, 'cause she was like a problem solver. Like, she would come in and there would be issues, and she'd sit down and ask questions and do all that stuff.
And you could tell that they didn't really get much into her like backstory, but you could tell that her advice and her wisdom and support was forged by fire. Like she knew.
Yeah.
She's telling you what she heard. She's telling you what she knows.
Yep.
Definitely.
Well, I'll take it, Jaleesa.
Dr. G, which one are you?
I think I'm Kimberly with a little bit of Whitney.
You're the bougie over there, Dr.
Not too much. Listen, I didn't know. I did not claim bougie until Becca pointed it out, and my other friend, my little sister, actually was like, "No, you really are bougie." And so I called my other best friend, Carolyn. I was like, "My whole sister said I'm bougie," and she was like, "Well, sweetheart, I hate to be the one to tell you,
You are Whitley. You are Whitley in
I don't know what y'all talking about.
And Kim in ethic.
I think I agree.
Bougie is okay. That means you like the finer things in life. And you're not willing to go do what's necessary to go get it. You don't instant gratification does nothing for you. You're willing to wait as long as if it's worth it. And that's we can learn a thing or two from Whitley Gilbert, because Whitley Gilbert didn't play no game, and she had an eye. Everything was also about her business.
She was.
Yep.
Brittney,
She really
Brittney, have you ever seen A Different World?
First of all, I'm pretty sure I've seen every episode. Thank you.
I
Loved that show. I think I'm a Kim, somewhere between Kim and Jaleesa. Especially like the way that you kind of talked about like where her wisdom comes from. You know what I mean? Like that life teaching you things. But at the same time, I've always been very, very serious about school and getting things done. And Kim was a little ball of anxiety a little bit. And so I think that somewhere in there is for sure me.
Alex, you Whitley?
Like 60%. Jaleesa.
Okay.
I'm definitely the problem solver friend.
Oh yeah.
But I'm still believing.
And the thing is that you really be excited about stuff, but still be like right here. Well, at least with me, like you like excited.
No, it's true.
And
Alex
just
is very even killed.
Like never like.
Y'all missed that phase of my life where I was very much all over the place. So I had to even it out. I had to get to a place.
It's because I was like after the show ran, so I'm like, oh my god, that was this and da and blah blah. And she was like, that was so dope. I really enjoyed it.
I'm so glad that somebody else is like me.
She can ratchet like the best of them. You know, catch her on a date off camera, and she'd be like, no, because I'm not doing it. And you'd be like, Alex.
But even that is still like,
I'm stuff from East Atlanta. So.
Yeah. And you know,
Alex and Treese are very alike, and I don't know if they know that, but they are very alike.
Listen, I told Alex, I was like, I told her when I first met her, I was like, you remind me of like one of my family members. Like you remind me of my cousin. Like
we're not cousins.
So that's my cousin.
Dr. G the same way. Dr. G will be right. Even when she fuss at you, it still be like, after my surgery, she texts me. I can hear like her text messages. You can hear her voice as she's texting, and I'm just like, oh my god. But it never like it still was like a warm cup of chamomile. And I'm just like, oh my god. So I would say that I am Freddie Brooks through and through. Freddie Brooks through and through. However, she was a little too flighty when it came to school.
Yeah.
And that I can't because my anxiety won't let me act like that with school. So I'm Kim regarding school. I'm Freddie Brooks. Literally, I have a group chat where my name is Freddie Brooks in the group chat. So that's how like serious that it is. And then I am giving myself in this recent phase of my life, I'm giving myself permission to be with me. I am spending money on things that I haven't spent money on before. I am really in this space where I am recognizing and living out the difference between price and value.
Yeah.
My business,
that's good.
And the things that I purchase, and even what I teach my children, because I recognize with that, Whitley, that was all she knew in her life, and there were certain like certain parts that she was naive to because she's always had. And so I like, Kim's like understand like when she worked and she knew she had to make things happen, but I don't want my kids to feel like they have to struggle, but I do want my children to feel like they got to work. And so for me, what I realized, and I was just having this conversation earlier, is that mindset, because I've been seeing a lot of people have what's called my mindset coaches. And I was like, here we go, another entrepreneur that's just like your business is business, and like how that doesn't make sense to me. But when I think about mindset, and I think about those different characters, we think about Tony, Lynn, and Joan, we think about Regine, because then Regine was another one who was from one way and wanted to present something different. I realized that a lot of our parenting or how we were raised plays a role in it. I was talking to a friend of mine about going to the eyeglass place and how it was custom to only go to the free insurance section, never consider the rest of the store. And when the first time I had to buy my own glasses and I didn't see anything I liked in that section, it was like painful to consider other places or even consider another store. And when I went to the other store, I recognized that the reason why this store was more expensive is because it was one-stop shop. You didn't have to wait 3 days. for the glasses. You didn't, if you needed a specialist, that was right there. You didn't have to get a separate referral for that kind of stuff. So when I was thinking about that, I was like, that's price versus value. And so I'm in a place now where it may be a little more expensive, but so what? Number one, I deserve it. I'm not, not looking at clearance tag or not only going for clearance tag. There's a place where if it wasn't on clearance, I wasn't buying it. And so now being a good steward of my finances as they increase, praise God. But also, I'm not about to penny pinch. Like I'm not about to do that no more. I'm a steward well, and that will afford me and my children to have nice things because nice things last longer in certain instances. But I'm also still going to shop on clearance, but I'm doing it because I want to, not because I feel like that's all I deserve.
Right.
And that wasn't on the list to talk about, but I felt that enough.
Well, that's real good because mindset is so important because of that. Like, I want my daughter to know the importance of $1 so she can value it, but I don't want her to know struggle. I don't want her to like have to go. Only way I'm gonna be able to get to this place is because I have to work super hard for it. No, I want to be able to afford things for her. I don't want her to ever feel like she can't do something because we can't afford it. But I want her to understand the value of $1. So that's why sis be saving her money now to buy her toys.
Absolutely. That's amazing. And the same now my boys pay tithes and all of that. They already know you can count, you got your 10, you have $1. Run me my 10 cents, bro. Like, and so that's thing. So it actually does fit because the next question is, what if any lessons can be learned from any of those characters? And I think what we were just talking about, Alex and I, about mindset and how you were raised and that thing, how it impacts your day-to-day life and your adulthood. I think that's important. What if for you all, what if any additional lessons can be learned from any of these characters? Different world, girlfriends, living single.
I think one of my biggest takeaways from these shows, although some of the shows didn't show a lot of range, like they kind of stuck them to one particular personality type. But one of the biggest lessons is going back to Lynn, even going to Sinclair, people like that who are like developing. When you're around people who seemingly have already arrived, that it's okay to stay in your lane until you get it. To remain true to yourself, whatever your journey is, whatever your calling is, assignment, all that type of stuff, to remain true to that and just to continue to develop at your own pace and to not compare. One of the things we did early on, we were talking about Joan and Tony, and it's like, okay, yeah, these are two different personalities and they have two different things going on. But individually, can they be great by themselves, even with all their flaws and everything? And so, to me, when I watch these sitcoms, it's just I'm allowing myself in real time to develop and grow over time and become, whoever it is that I'm supposed to be. And so that's probably one of my biggest lessons.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that, but I'll build onto it instead and talk about how, like, when you think about people like him from a different world or Joan, because they didn't harp on this a lot, but both of those characters were doing what they were doing because it was expected of them by their families, by their parents. They were expected to achieve in a certain way, form, or fashion. They were expected to kind of stay in this one lane that would lead them to some sort of affluence. And if they deviated from it, then there was always this like disappointment, backlash, and or even on their part anxiety because now they're worried about what mom, dad, grandmother, whoever is going to think. That's been my entire life. And even and it's not, I don't even think it's been like intentional. It's just always been Brittney, straight A's. Brittney is going to be the one to do X, Y, and Z. And then when I feel myself pulling away from those things, even now, I'm like, oh, nope, I got to make sure I'm on this straight and narrow little path to get to a certain particular point in place. And if you ask me right now, like, what is my end goal in doing all of the things that I do? I ain't got one. I'm just doing what I love. And when I get there, I will know that that's where God has me. And that's where I am right now. And making sure that I'm not doing anything for anybody else but me, myself, and I, and of course, Jesus. Because at the end of the day, I can do everything that everybody else is telling me I should have done, what I should have gone to school for, and what I should be focusing on, even in my own business, the type of clients and things that I take on. But if that is not where God is leading me, then I'm just doing it for people. So I feel like that's something that I could learn from Kim and Joan, because eventually they each did go off and kind of do their own thing. Kim marrying or getting with somebody who her parents probably would have never approved of. Not necessarily my situation, but again, just in that same mindset. And then Joan quitting her law firm and eventually being okay with that. Yeah, that's what I would get from those people.
Yeah. I think to kind of connect to Brittney, one, that I'm in a stage of my life where I really feel I feel bound by a lot of the mental boxes that I and my upbringing have put me in, and it's actually been really frustrating for me. I was just listening to I was just telling somebody this week that I've been like super emotional for like the last month. So if I cry, just turn my screen off. I was listening to a kind of like a podcast or whatever earlier, where somebody, like, it was like a brag thread essentially, and this girl was basically like, yes, like, you know, I did this and this and this, and it's because I changed my mind in order to get myself to understand, and da-da-da-da-da. And I remember listening to her, and instead of feeling like, yes, change your mindset so that way, like, she was like, I just tell myself that I can, and like my clients need me more than they need them. And I couldn't in that moment, like, even by myself, access the place that she was in, to just assume the world, or to engage the world in a way that was like in line with who God created her to be. I don't know what her religious orientation is, but if that way that I interpret it is like, I know that there's all these things inside of me. I know that I'm called to all of these amazing things, but I have settled for being Lawyer Joan or Dr. Kim or, you know, whatever. I've settled in those places because it's safe, because it's accessible and it looks good to everybody else. But I would much rather have the courage of Lynn and Freddie. And so I think the lesson that I don't, to be honest, I'm gonna be honest and say, like, I don't really know what the lesson is. I don't know how to connect yet, but I am committed to finding that path. And I think that if anybody is watching, like if anybody would be watching that follows any of my platforms, this would seem almost confusing. Like, there's no way you feel that way, because people can often see in you what you don't quite yet see in yourself. And so I think that I'm authentic in my presentation of everything that I do. But in reality, like, I'm constantly, or behind the scenes, I'm constantly trying. I don't see even what my hands are on in the moment. And so that was a lot, but I don't know. I am finding my path and being okay with it, and just fighting that fight of getting to ultimate freedom within myself.
Anything you all want to add, Dr. G or Rebecca? Anything you want to add, Dr. G? I think.
Oh, okay. I would say, I think for me, two seemingly not the same characters, but Whitley and Sinclair, because they were unapologetically themselves. So similar to what, Becca was saying, like, they were who they were, regardless of what everybody else thought, what everybody else, was trying to, box everybody up, was trying to put them in. They were themselves. And they made no apologies for it. It's kind of like, well, this is who I am, so sorry that you can't jump on the bandwagon type of thing. But definitely learning to live in that space where I am who I am. I am who God says I am.
Yeah.
And that's good. And that's fine. And if you can't rock with it, then maybe this isn't a space for you. So definitely them, like, just being unapologetically themselves.
Yeah. Y'all so saved. Each of y'all done slid a scripture in there at some one point or another. Y'all just can't help yourself. So we're coming down to our last 15 minutes. So we've talked about life, we talked about love, we talked about past experiences, but you all not only are best friends, but you all are, in essence, business partners. And so longevity in relationships and longevity in business partnerships connect. What matters is your connection, how close you are. We talked about that, and then just like how well you know one another and being. Because a part of authentic relationships, I think, is that each individual being authentic in who they are, but also you being authentic in your knowledge of the other person. Because sometimes we can try to convince ourselves that the person is not a way because it makes make us feel better. But the way to navigate those relationships more successfully is just being straight up. Like if you have a Tony in your life, just say you have a Tony. Like it's just what it is. And like because then we feel like if I admit that this person is a Tony, then in some way that's a shot at me because why would you let this person do the. So when I think about how you have managed to um, work together, come together, even had the idea that I want to take our friendship to more formal as far as like business. What is, and we got to answer these quickly because we're down to 15 minutes, but we have three more questions. Though. The first question is I want to start with the not so cute and then end on a happy note. But what is one of the things that what had you, okay, let's try this again. What have you had to adjust to the most for working with your friend?
I think I know Becca and I talked a little bit about it at the end our last episode for our podcast. And one of the challenges for us was the fact that I have a little bit more freedom with my time, and so when I'm on. And so just having to realize that I'm sending messages and stuff and saying stuff because this is what's on my mind right now, but it's affecting her because she's feeling like, I got to get this done. And I'm like, no, it's cool. Like, I'm just saying this is what we have to do. So learning how to manage my time and be respectful of hers as well.
And then so we can do it while everybody answers both questions. So what do you love the most about working with Becca?
I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
What do you love the most about favorite thing about working with your best friend?
Oh, because we get to giggle. Like if you listen to our podcast, that's all we do is giggle and really dive deep and cut each other lovingly. So I love that. I love the conversation. I love that we get to invite other people into the conversation.
Awesome. Thank you. Becca, what have you had to adjust to and what is your favorite thing about working with your best friend?
Yeah, so for me, I've pretty much done things on my own. Like, Breeze has kind of been a support system for me. But when it came to like platform, I was pretty much doing everything by myself. And so I would say probably the struggle was like deferring to someone else and not just being like, this is my idea, we're going to run with it. But being like, this is my idea, what do you think about that? And then hearing her idea and be like, okay, maybe we should go check her idea or maybe we'll go with my idea. So just having to defer to someone else's opinion other than mine was probably the initial struggle. And then one thing I love about working with my best friend is like because we do have a relationship outside of business, I know her heart behind things. And so it's not that I have to question your motivations or are you being nice and nasty or are you just trying to connect with me to, be sneaky or be a snake or something like that. I know her heart, her attention towards me. And so there's a level of trust in our business partnership. So that's probably one of my favorite things. Definitely giggling as well. So.
Thank you. Brittney, what is you and Alex have been friends for over 20 years, as you said. What have you had to adjust to, knowing you're likely inside and out? What have you had to adjust to being in business? And Veronique, both of them.
So I feel like the Sisterhood Debrief, we came together because we have all of these different personalities. We kind of like make up where the other person lacks. So literally, sisterly, godly, ratchet. We have all three, but it's like one of us has more of something than the other. So as far as adjusting, I think with us being in different stages in life, which was the premise of the show, Alex is a mother, I'm a wife, and Vernice is an entrepreneur, like darn near full-time entrepreneur at this point. We're just in different stages, and we have to maneuver around that a lot. So when are we going to come together and talk about the show? When are we going to come together and it not be business and we can just kick it? So like that dynamic has been challenging for me because sometimes I don't want to talk about work, but when we get together, Vernice is always ready to work. So it just depends on the day, but that probably would be the most challenging thing. As far as the most rewarding, for me, there was a time after I graduated college where I didn't really see or talk to Alex for 3 years because I lived so far away. And I'm not on the phone person. So we honestly didn't talk unless I was visiting home or she came down there. So for me, being in a space where we can like work together has really given us more time. I'm a quality time person. So we get to spend more time together, even though we're in different spaces in our lives, which I feel like became the transition because I got married. She has, her daughter. So that time factor was kind of compromised. I think we have that back now and are learning how to navigate it so that it's not always businessy. And then as far as Vernice is concerned, I feel like I just get to learn from her every time we're together. It don't matter if she's reading me about my marriage or if she's telling me that I need to be more serious about my business. And I feel like I'm serious about my business, but I'm not like full-time entrepreneur serious like she is. But I'm always learning something, whether it be business or life. And so that would be my like benefit of working with both of them.
Awesome. Vernice, what have you adjusted to? And what's your favorite thing about Alex and Brittney?
So I think that I share Brittney's like challenge, and to be honest, I actually feel if usually in college in the group project, I'm the one that like organizes everybody and like whatever. But in this dynamic, I'm actually I'm usually unavailable, like less, and then like I'll pick up a thing here or there. I'm like the one to like they're gonna call me to tell me to wake up because we have to record. So unfortunately, like I'm that person, and I think what has been difficult for me is being in that position because I constantly feel like I'm letting them down. And so that has been a challenge for me, is just like trying to navigate my priorities in that. But the best thing, we all three of us outside of the podcast, we each kind of have a piece of what the other person does. Like, I don't know, we're just always involved in something. Brittney is on my team in my Brittney and Alex are on my team in my business. We're all all three of us are in a coaching program together. Brittney has helped me with we do so many things together, and it's actually never, at least not for me, it's never been an issue. And so what I really appreciate is having friends that I can work with, like genuinely, like it's never any beef. I never have any beef with them. It's never an issue. It's actually comforting when I can bring Alex on to help me with an event or with a thing. It's actually comforting to be like, hey, can I send you, can you read over this for me, Brittney, or can you head this up or whatever. So, and I know like they've been best friends for 20 years, but to be honest, it makes no difference to me because like in my mind, we're all like, we're like a thing. Like this is a thing. I don't feel no ways outside of whatever they got going on. Like it makes no difference to me. And so I love them. Like they're one of my closest like core group of friends. And so we see each other often and like they're genuinely, and I don't know if I've ever told y'all this, but y'all are like my home base. And so I really just appreciate you ladies for who and what you are in my life.
Yeah, we know you're home based. Every time you bring up another friend, I'm like, who is this?
As many friends as you be having?
Except for me, though, because...
No, you're fine. We met you. I remember the first time we met you, Brittney.
We met you.
Right.
We're a unit, okay? When you came to Atlanta and we had to record the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And you've been in love with me ever since.
Oh, yeah, you were there.
Yeah. the day
Brittney-
they record
Brittney
anything.
was trying to
It
say
was my birthday. Everybody was in Atlanta.
it was like 5 weeks after your birthday.
Anyway, Alex. And, yes.
I think like we all probably share the same challenge, just like the time factor, because we're all super busy like, with work, businesses, life, like so the time factor I think is our biggest challenge. My favorite thing, I'm gonna start with Brittney. My favorite thing about working with Brittney, I just think as our being best friends, is like we kind of know each other, and sometimes we can just pick up on like subtle things that she might not say, like more non-verbal stuff. Like you see it in her face, you can hear it in the tone. You be like, something's a little off. You sure? You good?
Correct.
With Vernique, it's a little different because I feel like we started working together before we really grew our friendship. But now Vernique is my girl. Like she be having me up at 2:00 doing TikToks. So I think that's my favorite thing about Vernique. Vernique is always a good time. Vernique always brings like joy and laughter. She's very serious when it's about business, but she still always has a level of like making it still lighthearted and not so heavy and hard that I enjoy. And that's why I enjoy being around her and working with her and being her friend.
Oh, I love y'all.
That's beautiful. So this is a twist that I want to pose. So normally we say for the
excuse me.
I was about to say, so we ain't gonna talk about how we friends with
Right.
you. Like,
So anyway, the challenge with working with
let me get to it. Now,
I'm ready for my challenge.
The closing question is typically for the culture, what do we need to do to level up? But because I've worked with all except Rebecca, I trust your wisdom. Because you've all worked with me in some capacity, and you are all my friends, what do I need to do to level up? And I still need like a minute to close the show. So we got 4 minutes. It's 4. Fabio. 37 seconds.
Can I
not
go?
30 seconds. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, G.
From my personal, probably more professional opinion, I think that definitely more self-care. Pay attention to yourself, taking care of yourself. You asked the question, so this is the answer. So definitely more self-care.
Yeah,
I'll leave it alone.
Alex,
I would say self-care and knowing what you're doing is making an impact. Like owning that, like it's making an impact. That's a statement. So own that.
Can I pick a new question?
I'm gonna just ditto self-care because we already know what you was doing after the surgery. And I will say relinquish control. And relinquish control a little bit. And that's just coming from a client coach perspective. But at the same time, keep advocating for what you believe in, all of that great stuff. But I will say the control factor, this is for me and probably all of us, that little control piece can kind of hinder us because it's hard for us to like just go with the flow, or we see an opportunity and like veer that way when we've been going straight the whole time.
Mm-hmm. I want to say Vernique for last because I know she's going to be on some nonsense. Becca.
I was gonna say self-care, but not in the sense of like resting, although we know that you need to do that. But self-care in a sense of like protecting your mental space from naysayers that speak against what you are doing. And so do more of that and more focus, I would say.
Thank you. Esther.
I mean, your shirt is nice.
Well, so. I know I'm cute. I wish I could stand up, but I'm telling you.
Okay. So I was told recently by 2 of your friends that I be cutting too hard. So I'm going to say this nicely. Okay. I think what Brittney needs to do to level up is to stop standing in your own way. I think that you grab for the things that you know you can do, because you think that you can't do the other things that are before you. And so, like, the fact, like, you are so freaking bomb, Brittney. Like, you are a game changer, yo. Like, no gas, no cat. Ugh.
Girl, I know you're finna cry.
Okay, so for some context,
Girl,
if everybody had, like, if every square was like a best friend, like, if I talked to Brittney probably the most out of everybody here, to Brittney B. And so we have a very, like, dynamic and very, like, close relationship. But I want you to know, like, you are a freaking game changer. You are a catalyst in the kingdom, but also in the world. You're so freaking transformational. It's scary. And you sleep on yourself almost every day. Some days you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm Brittney. Period. But then it annoys me. But then, like, there are some days where, like, you really be acting like you don't know who you are. And it's crazy. And so I think that you've already leveled up. You are powerful. And when you walk and access your power, there is, like, literally you light up the world. I just want you to do it every day. And so that is my what you need to do. But to be honest, you are already, like, something to admire and to look up to. So,
and honestly, and this is what y'all young kids say, no gas, no cat, y'all parents. I literally echo all of those sentiments back to you all. I mean, and then Becca, we didn't work together. You in the book. Becca is in the book. So yeah, so at first I said, Becca, we didn't work together. We did work together. We got a whole contract together because you in the book.
Right.
But all of you all are. Dr. G is a naturopathic doctor, which I did not even know was a thing until I met her. And now I'm just, like, in awe of all that she does. She's 5-6 journals, 5-6.
I have 5, but 2 of them have alternate covers.
Oh, see, fancy. You see what I'm saying? Like, just fancy. And Brittney has 2 businesses. Brittney has a whole, like, publishing house, like a whole boss out here. I mean, she's bringing the Bible back to the regular people, and it's just in a way that is just like, she don't have that voice, that preacher voice that they have. She don't have that. She just talks to you regular, and it's just amazing. And I like, our little broke best friend is just like the light of my timeline, and you all like light is the word that you use. We didn't went over time, and I echo that to all of you. I truly, truly appreciate my time working with you all. Everything that I worked with Alex, you already know. This whole show wouldn't have been able to come together if it wasn't for you, and I appreciate that. And Bernice, thank you for not hating and and making move and stepping out the way so that Alex and I could. Because I mean, she did.
Never that.
She couldn't do it because I couldn't do it.
True. Very true.
Anywho, but I want to thank you again from the bottom of my heart for spending this time with me, for being so transparent, for showing the world just in real time the diversity of what it means to be a Black woman and how we can all watch the same show and get so much from it and be able to have lived life experiences based on it and learned lessons because of it. And really what we did tonight is a microcosm of the heart behind My Vulva in Me. And so My Vulva in Me, the series, as well as My Vulva in Me, the anthology. Look at that. And it's thick. You see that? This ain't no, this is.
You got pages.
You got pages out here.
That little switch up. Perfect. I'm so excited.
So I just want to let you know that on Sunday, November 22nd at 7 p.m. is the release extravaganza for Vulva in Me, the anthology. We will have an opening performance by Brains and the Revival, a live performance. Talking about leveling up. We got a band, y'all. I mean, like band, drums, mics. I think there's some horns in there. There's some stuff. And Briz is she also wrote and is the voice behind our theme song. Y'all know your bops to it every single time. Exactly. And so just as we're here tonight on Facebook and on YouTube Live, this Sunday at 7 o'clock, the release party will be here. And I will also be taking time to spend a little bit more time speaking with Brittney, who is the publisher of My Vulva and Me. We're going to get into it and how this almost wasn't a thing. Well, if y'all want to see about how this almost wasn't, y'all need to meet us at 7 o'clock on YouTube or Facebook Live. Thank you again to you all. Thank you again to all five, the guests from all 5 episodes. I had this memorized, so I'm trying to write it down. We have Dr. Wadasha Jenkins, Dr. Shamika Thorpe, Goody Howard, Dr. Lex Brown James, Melissa Pintor Carnegie, Marietta Gary Smith, Dr. Sharice Chambers, Dr. Natalie Matherin, Dr. Donna Oriolo, Dr. Zuleika Hopworth Clark, Dr. Tracy Q. Gilbert. Tuesday we had Dr. Ashley Towns, Dakiria Miranda, and today we have Dr. Patrice Thomas, Rebecca Davis, Alexandria Mann, Bernice Esther, and Brittney Holmes Jackson. And I am your host and creator.
Not this shirt. I want one. Well, not
I know that it's the customs for me. It's the customs for me. And I am Brittney Broaddus-Smith, founder and of the Intimacy Firm and creator and visionary author of My Vulva and Me. Thank you so much to everybody watching for sticking with us over these 3 weeks and these 6 episodes. If you missed any part of tonight or the other episodes, make sure you go and catch the replay and stay tuned. We will be back in May for season 3. But from now, oh yeah, we come back. It's in May for season 3, and we are going to level up even more. If I have a producer this time, just you wait. We might have a studio come next May if Corona gets on out of here. But again, thank you so much. I hope that you watched these 6 episodes and saw yourself as a Black, because this was about Black women. I hope you were able to see, even if it was just one episode, one statement, one woman that you saw yourself in, that you feel like you're not alone in this world, because that's what I do this for. So again, I thank you so much. Ladies, thank you so much. And I can't wait to catch you all next season.